Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pro Line. It's week one of the college football season for 2014. I'm John Cranton in Las Vegas, joined by Jeff Sod. He runs Las Vegas Sports Services, and longtime Vegas odds maker Sean Hess. Going to be looking at some upcoming games for week one of the college football season from a Las Vegas betting perspective. First, make sure you want to get on board Jim Feist. He was 7-4 last NFL preseason with high rollers, and for the entire college football season, 60% with executive service plays, 62% with high rollers, including 7-2 with his personal elites. And Jeff Sauter runs Las Vegas Sports Services. Jeff, you were 59% in college football last year, 75, 53, and 1. Your top-level blockbuster plays were a sizzling 11 and 1, 92%, and you've been rolling with a baseball as well.
Yeah, last year in college football, 75, 53, and 1, 59%. Also, right now, I'm currently in baseball since July 26th. I'm 56 and 32, 64%. Just go to jimfeist.com. You're going to get plays every day. And this week in college football, I'm going to have a best bet for you. Go to jimfeist.com for all the information. College football, NFL, baseball, everything. jimfeist.com.
Okay, and if you want to go to jimfeist.com, that little football helmet in the corner that says jimfeist.com, that's the link to the site. In fact, Jim Feist right now, for Thursday, he's got a college football 3-team power parlay. That's 3 college games going Thursday for $25 for all 3 of them. He also has an SEC High Roller TV total. If you like to play totals. And he's got a Friday rivalry college football game of the month for $25. Those plays and more at jimfeist.com. All right, guys, let's get into our 3 games going this weekend to open the season. We're going to start on Thursday with the Texas A&M at South Carolina game. We got South Carolina open 10.5-point home favorite, now up to 11. The total has also gone up from 56 to 58.5. You got the South Carolina team with the great coach and the great defense from last season. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, they have been all offense last year with a suspect defense. A&M is rebuilding with Manziel off to the NFL. Keep in mind some quotes last week that Steve Spurrier had. He said Texas A&M hasn't played any of the bigger teams on their schedule. It's been mostly misleading, Spurrier said. I find it interesting that they quit playing Texas, he added. So Spurrier is firing up the hot sideline stuff already.
Stir it.
Exactly. And keep in mind that in A&M's defense, Kevin Sumlin is 20-6 in the SEC. So, Sean, we'll start with you. I mean, do you think Johnny Manziel would rather be starting this game or be a backup with the Cleveland Browns?
Well, I think he's already decided that. This is a guy who probably has more money than the team owner. I don't know that was a good choice. I think we talked about that last year. Let's go through some numbers here. Both of these teams, both South Carolina and Texas A&M, replacing stud quarterbacks. In fact, it's strange that Manziel and Connor Shore for South Carolina, both of them wind up in the same team in the NFL, and I think the wrong guy is starting, by the way. First meeting ever between these teams, which surprises me. Texas A&M has 5 starters back on offense, 4 of them back on the offensive line. That should help them a little bit. A&M quarterback was actually supposed to be a guy who had some experience, but he transferred to TCU, so now the quarterback will be true freshman Kyle Allen. No college snaps. A&M defense retains 9 starters. But like you said, John, this is a unit that gave up 28 or more points in 11 of the 13 games that they played last year, including 48 to Duke in their last bowl game, which they won by 4 as a favorite of 10. A&M they really hurt you at the house. This is a team that's 4-8 against the number. They're on an 0-4 ATS run, and they failed to cover by 11 points a game in those games, so they're not even coming close. South Carolina. Does anybody know who the coach of South Carolina is? Is there a doubt? Does anybody know who the coach of A&M guy? Average guy probably never heard of the A&M coach. Spurrier has basically put this program on the map. They're 11-2 straight up, actually in their last 3 years. This is the 3rd straight year he did it. And Spurrier, in his 10th year as a head coach, a great 62-46 against the number for his entire career. This guy's been a moneymaker pretty much throughout his whole career. He's got 8 starters back on offense, and the new quarterback is a 5th-year senior with plenty of experience. He was 3-0 as a starter, so it isn't like they don't have any experience. They got 6 starters back on defense. They do lose 2 super studs. One of them, of course, Clowney, I believe is his name, and he was a first-round draft choice to the NFL, so a few holes to fill. South Carolina brings back the highest percentage of lettermen in the country at 58. No look ahead here. South Carolina with a home opener. They faced East Carolina in about 9 days, so they have plenty of rest, and they beat East Carolina about 2 years ago, about 48-10, so no threat there. There's an interesting stat. South Carolina's won their last 7 home openers by an average of 22 points a game. It's a lot of points for an early game like this. Who knows? But I frankly think you have to go with the old ball coach and lay the 10.5 for 11.
I didn't know that about the returning 11 for South Carolina.
Yeah, big 58 of them actually is the actual number.
Very impressive. Spurrier has done a tremendous job there. 11-2 in each of the last 3 seasons. The offense last year averaged 34 points per game, and they did it with exceptional balance, 198.5 yards rushing and over 253 yards passing. Jeff, there's really no concerns about a South Carolina offense where the quarterback Dylan Thompson is back, and he was part of a group that had 30 touchdowns and 4 picks. No worried at all about the South Carolina offense, but what about their D?
Well, of course, they had 2 huge losses there with Clowney and Kelsey Quarles, plus the secondary, very inexperienced and with no depth. Dylan Thompson will be okay at quarterback. Last year, 4 TDs, 783 yards. Mike Davis is back at running back, although right now he has a rib injury, and he's probable for this game. And Sean said they have the best offensive line probably since Spurrier's been there. Texas A&M, normally the quarterback situation here would be, people would say it's pretty good, but when you're coming off a year with Johnny Manziel, it's kind of like a letdown. Kyle Allen was rated the top quarterback in the country, but he's not even going to start. It's going to be Kenny Hill starting this game. He's a sophomore. So they should be in good shape quarterback-wise, just like compared to Manziel, where everybody's kind of wondering about it. They have 4 starters back in the offensive line, Trey Williams and Trey Carson back at running back. The defense, of course, is a big question mark here. Last year was pretty bad. They allowed 32 points per game, 6.4 yards per play, 220 yards rushing per game. This year they returned just about everybody, especially on the line and linebacker. The secondary would be the biggest question mark. But the defense should get more rest this year. Last year with Johnny Manziel's offense, a lot of times A&M scored so fast, the defense had just set down and had to get back up again. And this year they'll probably go more to running game, so they give the defense more time to rest. Kevin Sumlin, the coach of A&M, is 10-2 straight up on the road since he's been there. This is it's a high total. It's a high line, 10.5 points. But it's not going to be a big play for me. I would lean towards South Carolina, John.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at the total in the game. First of all, a couple of trends. Texas A&M in conference games on a 1-6 spread run, 0-4 against the spread on the road, and they're also 7-2 over the total in SEC games. But South Carolina 4-0 under the total run. And the thing about Kevin Sumlin, he has done a great job recruiting speed and talent for the offense, but losing Manziel is certainly going to hurt the offense. But he's actually had a very good recruiting job on the defense for this season. So I think this very experienced defense has talent and is going to be much improved. So I'm going to lean toward a lower scoring game than the odds makers think in this one.